And hello, reporting from deep inside the Everfree Forest, it's Everfree Northwest Presents with our host, Light Solver,
Only Tim.
and our fearless chat moderator, Line Monkey. Tim?
All right. So now we're going to go ahead and go on with some convention news. First, a little bit of a exclusive announcement. Rebecca Shoichet, song voice for Twilight Sparkle and VA for Sunset Shimmer, will be coming to Everfree Northwest 2014.
Oh, really? That's honestly, when I first heard about this and found out, I thought it was pretty funny because, well, she plays the voices for Twilight and Sunset, and just kind of ironic to say. Oops.
It is definitely an interesting duality. Yeah, I mean, there's a ton. Well, I mean, there's a lot of people playing Double Dewey on the show. I mean, what you have, no, the same VA does Fluttershy and Pinky, who could not be more dynamically opposed, could they?
Oh yeah, you can get farther apart, but that's part of the brilliancy of it too. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Ah, all right. Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. I'm sorry. All right, why don't you go ahead and take us on to the next point?
Also, if you're looking to volunteer for Everfree Northwest 2014, we are still looking for volunteers in many different departments. Even if we don't think you have any specific skills, hey, just go ahead, apply, and go ahead and give us an idea of where you may want to be placed, and we'll see what we can do for you. Also, vendors are now listed on our website. You can go ahead and take a look at everfreenw.com/vendors, and you will be able to get an idea of taking you to their various profiles. So get a heads up on who you're going to be giving all of your money to come 4th of July weekend.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Cons are big places to spend, but for good reasons usually.
I always recommend having a budget because I mean, whenever you go to a con, you want something like a little memento or something. Myself, I buy lots of art. There's a lot of $10, $15, $20 prints. That's definitely what I like to get. How about you, Light Solver? What type of merch do you like to get at vendor tables?
Gonna be honest here, Tim. I've actually never been to one. Never been to a convention.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
So, what would you get?
What would I? Oh shit! It'd be art. Definitely, tons of art, just tons of it, as much as I could. Maybe and also little figures. I always like that. Something kind of neat about it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you can buy all sorts of things. I mean, I know last year we had a bunch of variety. I mean, we had somebody who was selling soap.
Soap?
Like, oh yeah, MLP themed soap.
Huh. I don't even know what to think of that.
If you want to smell like a pretty princess.
Maybe I do. I am one.
I know. I want to smell like that too. Oh, I should have got some soap.
That'd be beautiful.
And also, yeah. So besides the news, with our VA and singing voice announcement with Rebecca, yeah. It's been a little bit of a light news week. That we got one last thing of news for y'all. We have the Everfree Northwest Fanfic Spotlight. Our writing track has just started doing weekly spotlights of fanfics you should check out. We currently have 4 weeks of fanfic spotlights out there. And the cool thing is, we have just started asking for your input. We usually have a list of 3 fanfics we suggest. But now we're looking to do a community suggestion. So you can get 4 fanfic suggestions per week.
Oh, I know one. Past sins. Oh, I just got done with that one. That one is... I love it. I really love it.
If I had to make a fanfic recommendation, this one I think is almost done. Okay. Oh no, I'm forgetting its name. I am horrible. How bad
Oh,
am I?
don't
Hi,
worry.
Sulfur.
Wait, what'd you say?
I'm a bad pony because I'm
Oh my
forgetting it. Like,
god, that just sounds terribly strange. But well, I mean, I don't know. At least you can get people's names somewhat right. Oh, but yeah.
and also, and actually no, I lied. We do have one more thing.
We do. Oh, we
Yes,
do.
just a reminder to everybody. We are still accepting donations for our charity auction. So if you have something you want to donate to go to charity, yeah, we raised over $21,000 the last year for Seattle Children's Hospital, and we hope to raise more this year.
Wow, 21,000. And this all just came from people who donated stuff, items.
People donated items that were then auctioned off at the charity event.
Yeah, yeah. That's still a substantial amount. And that's actually really great, and I don't know, just really shows how giving and things like that people in the community are. All that.
All right, and I do think that is all of the convention news we have for this week. Now, with that business out of the way, on to leisure.
Oh God, no, hold on, hold the phone. I remembered something, and I was like a little confused. Almost forgot about this. I actually kind of wanted to mention this, just because maybe I took part in it, and also it was actually fun, even though I just had to sit there. The pre-con panel live stream, we actually did that this past, was it Sunday or Saturday?
We did.
Yeah,
You are completely correct.
yeah, and the best part of it is there's going to be more in the future. So definitely
Yes.
look out for those. And I have to say,
Yeah.
I'm not a writer. I don't write. I hate writing papers and things like that. But actually, I kind of found it interesting. You know, I had to sit there, and once I started sitting there, I started actually kind of liking it. It was pretty interesting, really kind of fascinating to all the story elements and how they're really constructed. And
Yes,
for the writers, it's definitely insightful.
Yep. The topic was on setting, and we actually do have it recorded. It should be going on our YouTube channel in the next week or two.
Yeah, definitely.
So if you missed it, hey, you can definitely come back in and listen in.
Yeah, and expect future ones. You know, there will be more, and they're bringing in some, you know, great people too. Like for instance, the writer of Past Sins was on that last one.
Ah, yeah, exactly. And so was Couch Crusader,
Yes.
free reader for EQD. Really good guy. I was very happy he was able to join us.
Oh yeah.
And yep,
Actually,
there was also Pico Pie, who is the director, the lead of our writing track this year.
yeah. You know, they're all really a bunch of great guys, and it was really cool to just kind of hear them talk about it. You know, listen and just like that.
Yeah, actually, I do a touch of writing myself.
Really. I
I'm
think you might
not
have said
that.
something to me about that.
I think I probably mentioned it. The one that I've had the most people take a look at is Pinkie Pie is related to who, which honestly, all my stories are based on prompts from EQD.
Really.
I have some ideas of my own, but I just you never get around to writing them down.
Wait, they're from prompts with Cutie?
No.
Oh.
They're prompts from EQD.
Oh,
like
props! Oh my god, I thought you were saying
Prompts.
prompts. I thought that would have
No,
been hilarious.
no, I'm on a good relationship with EQD.
Oh yeah,
They're
I
great.
know. Yeah, they're cool people, but you know, it's just still kind of funny.
Just go up to Calpay and be like, "What's up, Calpay?"
Oh well, if
Or Seth.
do you remember the oh crud? It was the video done by Rainbow Dash Presents. That whole series of videos, they were all hilarious. Where the beginning of one of them was a Trixie Variety Show Daily or something. That's what they were talking about. Which you can guess who they were kind of commenting about.
Indeed.
But yeah, it was pretty funny. They made some funny jokes.
All right. So that is all of the convention business out of the way. Now
Yes.
let's go ahead and move on to fandom news. Lights off. Go ahead and take it away.
Yes. The new main series of the comics, series 18, downloads and variants are up. And yet again, if you guys haven't checked out the comics, really do. They are really good, and they're hilarious too. I don't know if maybe you've heard about them before, but if you haven't checked them out already, you really should, because not only that, but the artwork is stunning too. I love it.
My opinion, some of the comics are hit and miss, but a lot of them are hits. I've gone all of them.
Well, oh really? Oh shit! I want to get them. Wait, are you talking about the side comics? I've heard and I've read like one or two of them, and they're not as good. But the main ones, I think, in my opinion,
yeah.
all of the main kind of comics are awesome, just hilarious.
Yeah, some of the Friends Forever and some of the micros are a bit missed. Some of them are
Yeah.
fantastic. Actually, the latest one I read that I quite like was a Spike and Celestial one.
Oh,
Of those.
I think I might have read that one.
It's actually very interesting the pairings they're coming up with. I mean, some of them make sense. I mean, Pinky and AJ. I mean, that makes sense. Twy and Shining, that makes sense. But Discord and the CMCs, that's a bit
Yeah.
that's a
I've
bit
heard
out
about
there.
that.
I actually, not everyone shares this opinion, but I enjoy that comic. But yeah, back to the topic at hand, the main series, what is quite good. Yeah, I like the Big Mac arc, fantastic. I think
Oh,
it's
that
my
was
favorite.
hilarious. Yeah, yeah. They it was great. Was he didn't really speak, but you saw it through all of his thoughts. So that was brilliant.
I always pictured him to be a pretty thoughtful guy, and very intelligent.
Oh
He
yeah,
just doesn't have to say much.
yeah, yeah. That's exactly it. But it's always just still kind of interesting to see what's going on in his head. Yeah, but on to our next thing of news, which I know this has been a little bit of a hot point in the community, but with Babscom, the mother of that child, apparently she was able to get in touch with the convention, and it all got sorted out. And apparently, it was nothing like what the story was that was going around actually
Oh,
said.
Lights over. Go ahead and give us a little bit of background.
Yeah.
So what was going on with the BabsCon issue?
Well, apparently, the original story was saying that this little girl, whatever, she was walking in, she went up to one of the vendor tables, and um, a guy asked her to come to a room or harassed her or something like that, and the people at the table just kind of got around her and stuff like that and told him to go away or something. And it really got portrayed like the person who wrote it probably didn't put it in as much of a bad light, just hating on, all of us and things like that. For it was so kind of foggy too. I mean, it didn't really make sense when it was being looked at, because where it was saying it was taking place, there were no vendors whatsoever, and so that was really putting a lot of it into question. But what apparently had happened was the little girl actually had made friends kind of with the people at the SAC Anime Expo table or whatever, and so her mother had stepped away just for a second to grab her older brother to bring him back, and in that time, an older man or whatever came up to her and asked her to come back to help him pack in his room. And when that happened, she went over to the this Academy Expo table to just kind of be with them, and she kind of explained that and what she was worried about to them. And when the mother came back, they talked about it and things like that. Or take that back. Sorry. The daughter, actually, she was afraid to tell anyone at first, but after the convention, everything like that, and after all the news and stuff like that, she finally talked with her mother. But she was afraid because her mother wouldn't trust her anymore, actually, which kind of reminded me of a past episode with a parent figure not trusting a sibling or younger.
Indeed. So regardless, I mean, whoever that guy was, that was totally inappropriate. That was totally creepy.
Yeah, but the con didn't know about it, and the little girl actually didn't tell anyone until afterwards.
And it was not as bad a situation as some were led to believe.
He just asked her once, and then after that, after she said no, never heard or seen from again. But they are looking for him, so if you do have any knowledge about this, please go to the BattlesCon webpage and email them.
All right. I got a piece of news. Not only the director of media for Everfree Northwest, as I'm also an animator for the fan game project My Little Investigations. You may have heard that we released our first case a few weeks ago.
What case?
Yeah, True Blue Scootaloo.
Oh, okay. I was thinking cases in like game inside a plastic case.
No,
like I'm like, what? Wow.
It's a point-and-click detective story. So, and it's based on Ace Attorney, which has several cases in one game. Right now, recruitment for Case 2 is open. We're looking for visual artist, vector artist, animator, so you'd be working with me, and Warpout, and a cutscene artist. We're looking for an audio engineer, and we're looking for a ton of voice actors.
Wow, that sounds like you're looking for a whole cast there, a cast and crew.
Okay, we're looking to expand
no doubt.
our ranks, just so we can try it. We spent like almost 3 years on this project, so we're hoping to maybe shorten the turnaround time a little bit. And there's things going on in the background with the project that should help that out. But yeah, if you are interested and have the skills we're looking for, we'd love to work with you. Just go ahead and go to equestriandreamers.com and click on recruitment, and that will tell you everything you need to know.
Oh, that sounds great, and hope to hear that bit of expansion going on there. Hope to hear more about it. Hopefully we can see more coming from you guys a little bit faster. That'd be awesome.
Hopefully.
That'd be amazing. But,
all right, Light Solver. So what's next up on what other piece of news do you want to share?
Nightmare Nights Dallas has pre-reg open. And so that's a pretty cool thing. I know a number of people down there in that area are excited about going to that one, and I think it'd be pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they have a lot of great people working. Yeah, I mean, they have Chef Sandy from Brolyville. He's actually one of the head honchos over there. He's a great guy.
Really?
Oh, yeah. He's from conventions before, so he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Nightmare Nights, I've never been, but I hear great things.
Oh, yeah.
So, if there's a network of con you guys want to go to besides Everfree Northwest, or heaven forbid you can't make it to Everfree Northwest but are in the Texas area, definitely think about checking out Nightmare Nights Dallas. Well,
once the convention here is over, once the parties died down over here, there's parties still yet to come, and so that's going to be taking place October 24th through the 26th. So, once you're done and well rested after EFNW, you can head down there.
Indeed. All right. a little piece of spoilerific news. So if you are scared about spoilers for the next Equestria Girls movie,
Oh,
Rainbow Rocks, just tune out for the next 30 seconds. I won't be too long. Okay, ready? All right. So apparently, Set Shimmer will be making a return in Rainbow Rocks.
I've heard about that.
So, I mean, I don't think that's too unexpected. She was a big part of the first movie. Um, so I'm not too surprised we'll see her in the second movie. But yeah, we will see how that goes.
Has
All
that
right.
been about 30 seconds? Because we need to come in with utter and shock. So that way anybody tuning back in will be just wondering what the hell went on.
Okay, let's 30 seconds. Fandom ruined over flip
Oh
table.
my god, I can't believe this is happening. Are you kidding me? I cannot believe they're doing this. What the hell?
All right.
Alright, next piece of news. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce this. Was it I don't know. It's Allisti. Very strange word. Charity streaming was live actually yesterday through last night. It was 24 hours. It's pretty crazy. I poked my head and just check it out a few times, and it was really kind of cool. They brought in pretty much everyone, it seemed like. But aren't donations still open on that?
That one I really have no. That one I'm not too familiar with.
Yeah.
Well, while you're checking that out, I'd go ahead and mention that the Fallout Equestria book project is back on. It's a 2-book set, contains the complete story, including a 2.5 chapter, and you can pre-order at book.fallout-equestria.com. They're open until May 4th. So the end of today.
Oh, shit. That's terrifying.
But yeah, so if you're a fan of the FOE series of fan work, definitely think about checking it out. I will admit, Fallout Equestria, I've not gotten into. I've only
Really?
played a little bit of the Fallout. I've played Fallout. I like it. Fallout Equestria, just very, it's very long. I mean, what, the original fic has over 1 million words?
I don't know. It's under 1 million, thankfully. But I actually listened to it on audio, and so when I was too tired to read, I could always just sit there and listen, which is great. But even doing that, it took me a whole week, and that was pretty much almost 24/7.
Right. So maybe I'll listen to the audio sometime. Yeah, I do hear good things about it. I like some of the fan edits come up with. But yeah, it's definitely a bit of a time investment to get into it, I think.
Yeah. About the 24-hour stream, yes, I believe you can still donate. Pretty much donations I know are usually open, but so far, from what it looks like, they've made $3,220 in 70 donations.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, that is, and not to mention in 70 donations, that's still some big numbers being, sent their way, which is wonderful for them.
All right. Well, we're done with fandom news. I just have 2 quick things I want to share. Speaking of streams, we're on the stream right now.
Really?
Yeah, the Examiner is going to be running a live web conference with both Tara Strong and Megan McCarthy on May 6th at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This just went up on EQD a few hours ago, so this is still pretty recent news. But yeah, we can get in on go ahead and go to that stream when it goes up, and go ahead and take a listen. They're actually currently gathering questions from the community.
Really?
So,
That's really cool. No wonder I didn't see it. It's like wondering when this was.
yeah, so you just have to go to the Examiner website. A link is in the Equestria Daily story about this. So I'd recommend taking a look at the Equestria Daily story, and that will provide you with everything you need and all the links you'll require.
All right, that's good to hear.
And the Brony Tale is coming to Canadian, New Zealand, and Seattle Film Festival premieres.
Really?
Actually, on May 11th at 7 p.m., it's going to be at the Vancouver Playhouse.
Huh. Wow. That's actually really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think I really gotta give this thing a shot. Give it a look when we have the chance to actually when it's has a more widespread release.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I believe that that does it for fandom news.
All
So
right.
we're gonna go ahead and go into a bit of we're gonna go ahead play you some music.
Yeah,
So
taking us
what?
to our... Oh, sorry.
So what song do we have for our viewers today?
Well, taking us to our main event today, we have Breathless, a song for Spike by Ruinous. I hope I'm saying that right, but I probably will be corrected here after we come back.
publisher, musician, and sometimes unicorn.
Hi. Yes, also my name is pronounced Dana. This has been going on the entire time, and it's, I think, becoming a bit of a hilarious running joke. But I think you had to be here for it to be hilarious. It's just, but these people can't pronounce my name right. I find it charming, which is very fortunate for them.
Yes, and thank you for just bearing with us. All of us who just
Quite
get
all
your
right.
name wrong. I have again. My actual name is Tim. Nobody gets that wrong, except when they think I'm Jim or Kim. I've gotten Kim before. That's very specific and weird.
People get my name wrong all the time. I get Donna actually a fair amount. Also Dana, also Diana. Sometimes people want to spell Dana with an I. It's 4 letters. I never thought it was a very complicated name, but it's close to a lot of other names.
And sometimes that's all you need. All right. So, actually, that bumper song that we had, I believe you actually made that with your sister?
I did, with my sister Nicole Johnson. Together we are Ruinous. Nikki is an electronic musician, and I play the guitar, and although not on that song. On that song I play saxophone and sing, and we wrote, she did all the electronic-y stuff. And we've done a bunch of songs, mostly about ponies and pony-related stuff, and I think that one's my favorite. Thank you.
Now, go ahead.
Yeah, Nikki is awesome. She also is another cartoon strip called Meadowhawk, which you can Meadowhawk, I think .net. I don't know, Google Meadowhawk, and for good measure Meadowhawk Dragons, because it's about dragons and it'll come up. It's so terrible that I don't know that. Actually, I think it's meadowhawkcomic.com. I don't know, I just read them over her shoulder. By the way, did you catch that the name of our band is a pony reference?
I did not.
Yeah, people don't. In fact, I didn't when Nikki suggested it. I think a season 1 pony reference, the one with the Paris sprites, where some pony accuses Pinkie Pie of being a ruiner, and she says, "I'm not a ruiner. I'm the ruinee," or should that be the ruiness?
Wait, which one was that?
That was, what was the name of that episode? It's the one where the town is overrun by Paris sprites.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I used to know the title of that one, I'm sure, but I can't remember it now.
It's wonderfully obscure.
I need to focus more on what I'm doing.
Like all good names, like all good references. It's obscure, and you feel smart if you know it. And if you don't know it, it still sounds cool.
All right, so yet again, I have goofed. I was not focusing as much as I should be on what I was doing, and I brought on air the computer sound, but not my mic. So
So, Kyle, you have been speaking this entire time, and nobody's heard you?
Well, at least the majority has heard you. Or the majority of this call was being heard.
So did that sound surreal to the rest of you listening at home? That were we conversing with voices in our heads?
I can actually imagine.
That would actually be fun.
I can actually imagine. That's what my mother is thinking whenever she just hears me in my room or something.
Who is that boy talking to? My parents
don't care anymore that I'm crazy because I figured out how to make it profitable.
That's
brilliant. Once you learn how to make money off it, it's amazing how much parents will get off your back.
I am no longer. Yeah. When you tell your parents that you want to be a syndicated comic strip artist and you don't really have a plan B for it, they worry. You know, it's like telling them that you've decided to win the lottery as a career move. But then after 10 years or so, it kind of worked out, and so now they're not worried. Also, I married somebody with a real job. That helped.
So, Speaking of such, how did you get into art?
I've just, you know how everybody draws when they're a little kid? You
Hmm.
know,
Oh yeah.
you have your markers and your construction paper and whatever. I just kind of never stopped.
Yeah, that's always a good way to go.
And I was always really into comic strips, and I was trying to draw my own in like elementary school. You know, we had this big book of Peanuts cartoons at home, and I kind of devoured it. Not literally. Um, you know, there was Calvin and Hobbes was getting really big at that time. I always loved Calvin and Hobbes. I mean, everybody loves Calvin and Hobbes.
Oh
I don't know
yeah.
anybody who doesn't love Calvin and Hobbes.
I don't
And
know anyone.
I was fascinated by comic strips. I started trying to draw my own. I drew my first one when I was like 5. It was called Boo, and it was about ghosts.
Oh, that sounds great.
That is adorable.
It really is. My parents saved all my old art, so I still have this.
Now, a bit of a random tangent here, but you do know that you have a Wikipedia page, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. What were you like? When did you find out about that? What were you thinking? Like, did it surprise you?
When I first found out there was a Wikipedia page about me, that was I think it was a long time ago. Like 10 years ago or more.
Oh wow.
Well, I've been a web cartoonist for a long time. Before Heavenly Nostrils, I did a strip called Ozzy and Millie
Hmm.
for like 10 years. I started doing that as a teenager. It was one of the first web comics, kind of. I like to say I'm one of the inventors of the web comic because I started doing it in like 1998 when that wasn't so much of a thing yet. There were a few strips around, but it wasn't like now when there's tons of great strips online. There wasn't very much back because the internet was so much smaller.
Yeah.
And it was pointed out to me by someone that there was a Wikipedia page about me. Somebody had gone in and written one. I have no idea who it was, and it was sort of. I liked it. I felt famous, and I liked that it was mostly accurate.
I actually went back and I checked through the history, and it said something like you were a middle-aged man living in Michigan when it was like first written. I guess they
Yeah,
have no clue.
that no part of that is right,
Yeah.
but it's Wikipedia. Actually, I'm not middle-aged, not yet. But I lived in Michigan for about a year, so I don't know. Maybe that part was right at the time.
It
No,
was
because
a long time ago.
not when it was first written. Though, because I lived in Michigan later. I don't know.
Okay, so
It's Wikipedia. Let's not dwell on it.
right. So you did live in Michigan, but you're now a Washington native, correct?
I'm from here originally. I'm back here now.
Oh.
Did the same thing with Chicago. You're initially left, came back.
I was in Michigan for a while because my husband is from there, and at the time he had a job there, and then he got one here, so he came back. And I also lived in California for a while just because I wanted to live in California for a while.
Huh.
How was California?
Expensive.
Wait, were you north or so, Cal?
North. I was in the Bay Area.
Oh.
Oh yeah, Bay Area, very
Oh,
expensive.
yeah, it's super expensive. I liked it there, but I could not afford to stay there. I would have had to start coming up with a lot more money than I had. And so
Yeah.
I came back here, and I don't know, I like it here. It rains too much, but I really like the people here.
You know what you could have done? You could have
Huh.
maybe gone to Google and tried to be one of their artists. You know, the artists that do the images for the search.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do the Google Doodles. Are those people paid well? Because if that pays well, is it too late for me to get into it?
I have no idea.
I
Yeah,
have honestly no clue, but that would be really cool.
It would be cool. I'll put that on my bucket list.
So I'd like to actually go ahead and steer things a little bit. Just touch on Everfree Northwest a little bit.
Let's talk about Everfree.
How and when did you hear about Everfree Northwest?
I don't remember. But it was pretty early. Like, I think it was first being discussed. So the first in August 2012. I think it was like about 6 months before that. It was like, oh, there's going to be a PonyCon here, and it was like 3 miles from my house. So it was like, oh, we'll definitely go to that. And then, oh, it's sold out. I guess we can't go. Oh no, they opened some more tickets. So we went, and I had a great time. And a few months before that convention, Gemini Star, the director of publications for the con, who I knew from before, she emailed me about doing a poster for the con, and I did this poster, and I still have this on my wall. I don't know if you've seen the one. It's the one where it's a bunch of ponies in a record store.
Oh, wait,
Yep.
I think I might have that here actually.
Yeah, that was mine. That was the first thing I ever did for Everfree. And I had so much fun doing that. And then going to the con, and I got it signed by all the VAs who were represented on it.
Really?
Yeah, so I've got this one on my wall. Like Tabitha St. Germain just wrote, "Oh whoa, Tabitha."
What?
Michelle Creever told me to rock on. It was the first time I'd ever met any of them, but they all seem like such cool people. At least when you're a fan, you know, they're very friendly. They were happy to sign my poster for whatever it cost to get their posters. I think I spent about $180 getting their autographs, but it was worth it. And then after that, I had so much fun doing that poster that I was like, can I be a staff artist? And then I ended up doing most of the art for Everfree the following year. I did all the announcements and stuff. And this year, I've been there's more artists working on the con this year than previously, and also Gemini's been doing a lot more stuff with design. But I was actually, while I've been talking to you, I got my first look at the announcement for what's her face? Sunset Shimmer.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Rebecca Stochiet?
Close
Anyway,
enough.
yeah. Anyway, we've been working on her announcement for the con. I'm looking at the first draft of the art. Well, actually, no, not the first draft. It's like the almost final draft, but like it's the first version I've seen of it in a while, and it looks really good.
Really. Speaking of the art, I hear that you're the creator of a pretty popular mascot inside of Everfree Northwest.
I invented Front Page. I am Front Page's mama.
And for all those who don't know who Front Page is, she is the mascot of Everfree Northwest, who typically has the microphone with her and the visor, the green visor.
She's news pony.
Yes, she
I
is.
believe she came about when our second year convention. We kind of went around the theme of the news, and she kind of developed from there.
She did that. Yeah, we had a news theme the second year, like you said, and originally she was just sort of for like the first promotional flyer we did that year. Gemini said, "We'll draw a pony carrying a newspaper," and I came up with this pony, and I made her gray like newsprint, and I gave her a newspaper cutie mark and glasses and a green visor, which sort of makes her look like a bookie, but I thought it made her look like a journalist. And that ended up becoming Front Page. And then once we named her, then I sort of started to feel like, oh, okay, this pony could be an individual and have a personality. And then she was in all the other announcements, and she sort of came to life, and everybody seems fond enough of her that she's stuck around. She was supposed to be just the mascot for that one year, but everybody likes her enough that she's still hanging around doing stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean,
I used to be a reporter, it was fun designing a reporter pony. It was like a callback to my first job.
Really?
Yep, right out of college, I was a reporter for the Puyallup Herald for a couple years.
Puyallup Herald. Is that a Seattle local newspaper?
Yeah, well, Puyallup is, it's about, like 30 minutes south of Seattle, maybe a little more. It's a rural suburb, and I used to work for the weekly newspaper there.
Huh.
Very cool.
That is, actually.
Yeah, so Front Page is like younger me as a pony. Except that she gets to interview like Pinkie Pie. I had to interview like the mayor.
Oh, man.
Oh, mayors.
Wait,
City council people. I don't know, interviewing the mayor of Puyallup is not that interesting.
So, I mean, besides creating our fantastic Front Page, we've already touched on your more well-known comics, Heavily Nostrils and Ozzy and Millie. Heavenly Nostrils that is currently, active. So could you tell us a little bit about those?
Well, we'll start with Heavenly Nostrils, which is I like the comparison that some people make that people call it like Girl Calvin and Hobbes. I like that much exactly what I set out to write. I was like, I'm gonna write Girl Calvin and Hobbes. But it's got its own identity. It's a story of a little girl who hits a unicorn in the face with a rock and uses this as an opportunity to become best friends with her.
Oh.
And it is it's a web strip for now, but it's getting its newspaper launch this summer.
Newspaper? Like
Wonderful.
really?
Yeah. Yeah, the Syndicate is actually launching it officially this summer.
That's really cool, actually, and I
Isn't
don't
it?
know. That's kind of funny. Wait, when you were a reporter, did you report for a newspaper?
Yes, I did.
Oh man, I don't know. That almost seems somewhat like a full circle.
It kind of is. I'm back in newspapers after I don't want to tell you how many years. I don't want to tell you how old I am. It's been a few years.
A few. That's
And
good
however old you are, you're still incredibly young for it.
enough. Yes.
Thank you so much. Yes. I feel younger now probably than I have since I was actually a kid. And part of that is that I spent so much about ponies.
Well, I don't know. How old is Marigold? Isn't she?
She's quite old.
Yeah, and she looks great.
Yeah, she's a unicorn. In fact, her answer to that would be one word. She would just say, unicorn.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
Unicorn.
Yes.
Very fancy. My accent is horrible. If you read the comic, you'll know what I'm talking about.
I have to brag a little bit. Do you know who I got to say that line at BabsCon? Nicole Oliver.
Nice.
Oh, that's
Princess,
great.
yes, I got to hear Princess Celestia say that line because I sat next to her in a bar. And
Nice.
yeah,
Really?
and she is really awesome in person. She's a very classy lady, and I got a unicorn out of her, and it was brilliant. I can't do it justice, but she can.
Oh, man. Actually, out of curiosity, how has the show kind of impacted?
It has
It's good.
it's been a significant influence on me, particularly in the very beginning. I read this interview with Lauren Faust that Equestria Daily posted back, like, I think season one, like between two maybe. Sethisto posted this interview with Lauren that he did, and she talked about television for kids of different genders and talked about how like they shows that have a female character, they're like one female character, and that's her personality, that she's the girl, like Smurfette, that whole thing. And Lauren said she wanted to do something different and have like female almost be the default in a show, and that was sort of what she tried to do with Pony, to do to approach gender from the opposite direction that most children's entertainment does. And at the time, I had just gotten a contract to develop a strip like less than a year earlier, and I was struggling a little with figuring out exactly what I wanted to do with that. And that interview really spoke to me, and listening to Lauren talk about that, and I was like, I really want to do a strip like that. I want to do two female leads. Before that, I was trying to have a boy and a girl and kind of replicate the dynamic from Ozzy and Millie, because that strip was about a boy and a girl in school together who are best friends. But Heavenly Nostrils is a girl unicorn and a little girl human because of Lauren, because I read that and I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do too. And Heavenly Nostrils kind of came out of that after that.
Huh. That's really kind of fascinating. And speaking on that, actually, the kind of two people or two person or creature dynamic. Why is that? I see that actually in a number of other comic strips, and I'm kind of curious. Why two? Why not more? Why not six, for instance?
There are comic strips with larger casts. A strip like Doonesbury has like 20 main characters. But you usually only see one or two of them at a time, even in a strip with an ensemble cast. And the reason is there's not a lot of room in a comic strip. I mean, physically, but also in terms of like writing. It's a simple medium. It's a medium that rewards simplicity because you don't have all that much space. And having two characters talking to each other, stuff doesn't get cluttered. You know, cramming more characters and more dialogue into panels, it begins to seem like a bit much.
Huh. That's that actually makes a lot of sense.
Makes perfect sense to me.
Oh yeah, definitely. I actually didn't really think of the physical space about it. I thought it might have just been because it might have been too difficult to write for more than two or something.
There is something natural about two characters talking to each other, even when you've got more space. You know, I mean, look at episodes of Pony. There are there are episodes where it's like the whole main six doing something, and those tend to be epic, and you know they're going to the gala or fighting Discord or whatever. But in your typical episode, it kind of tends to focus on three characters because it is simpler. It gets complicated to follow more than that going on in a story.
Yeah.
Now, I'm curious, how far do you plan your comic storylines out, and how do you come up with your storylines?
As far as how far, not as far as I should. I've had a lot going on recently, and I'm not as on the script as I should be. Among other things, we just finished putting the first Heavily Nostrils book together, and it is on now, and it'll be out in September. And I'm really excited about that. It's going to be beautiful.
Yay.
But you know, typically with a syndicated comic, you want to be at least a month ahead, in case something happens, and something could always happen. Life is like that.
Yeah. Especially with posting them daily. I mean, that has to be a lot of work, isn't it?
It actually is, yes. I'm glad. Good. I'm glad that's obvious. Because
Yeah, I'm just.
I
Oh,
sometimes
sorry.
feel like I sometimes feel like I got into this because I didn't want to work hard, and I ended up working as hard as anyone else.
Yeah, I kind of just imagined you before just spending every waking second of your day drawing comic strips. Just to
It's
meet
not
the
quite like that, although I think I do spend every second of my day thinking about comic strips. And that's the answer to your second question, where ideas come from. You just sort of, after you do it for a while, your brain sort of gets on comic strip autopilot. It's like anything that happens. A friend will say something, and you'll laugh, and you'll be like, "Oh, that's funny. Can I incorporate that? Can I steal that and make that into a strip?" Or I'll say something, and people will laugh, and I'll be like, can I use that? And I try stuff out. I'll say stuff, and if I think something's a funny phrase, I'll be like, go to my husband and be like, "Hey, is this funny?" And because we've been together a long time, he feels free to tell me, "No, it's not funny," and I'll be like, "Screw you," and I use it anyway.
Nice.
Oh,
I have an editor too, and we
Really?
just yeah, a lady at the syndicate named Sheena Wolf, who is awesome. I think she's improved my writing a lot. I think having a second person to meet with every week and exchange emails with throughout the week. And I send her roughs, and she's like, "Oh, this works, that doesn't work." And I'll be like, "What do you think this strip needs?" And she'll be like, "Well, we haven't seen this character in a while, so why don't you write something for them?" And we'll talk about what they can be doing. And a fair number of ideas come out of those conversations. It's way different because with Ozzy and Millie, it was a web strip. I was doing it more or less by myself. Having a second person is really different.
yeah. I thought also you were doing it alone too, but that's really crazy. I never actually really thought about a webcomic designer having an editor per se. Yeah.
It makes sense to me. I find that myself that I usually come up with better, stronger material if I'm bouncing ideas and thoughts off somebody and getting their input.
It really does
Is it
make a difference.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
so?
and actually, speaking on writing, how do you think doing comic strips has affected your writing?
It's caused me to think in four-panel bursts. It's its own style of writing with its own rhythm. You know, it's made me It really rewards brevity. I have cut down significantly on my excess verbiage, at least when I'm writing for the strip, because the simpler the better. As long as you're communicating your point, um, the fewer words you use, the more space there is for art. And uh, it has, yeah, it has caused me to sort of think. My ideas are short. I've been writing comics for so long that my ideas are sort of comic strip length, which is interesting because I'm starting to attempt to write a graphic novel now, and I have to think about, how do I tell a long story, which is something I never do in the strip, really. And it's a different way of thinking, and that'll be a big adjustment, and it'll probably ruin my ability to write comics forever.
I'm sure you'll manage. You've been doing great so far. I don't
Well, thank
expect
you.
you.
We can just
Okay,
get
I mean,
bigger paper.
Yeah, I mean, I've been a fan of Heavenly Nostrils for many months, well, since last Everfree. And yeah, I mean, if that's anything to go by, I'm looking very much forward to your graphic novel.
You're too kind. Thank you so much.
Well, I mean,
All
the
right.
worst thing she could do was turn it into a movie about high schoolers.
Oh God, yeah, human marigold in high school. No, I'm never going to do that.
Yeah, I still have to see that movie sometime, or not.
Really? You
I'm
have?
not sure if I.
You've never seen Equestria Girls?
No, I haven't.
I honestly, I couldn't get through it. I like ponies. The skinny high school bitches just don't do it for me.
The boots are really weird. And the storyline has gigantic plot holes.
It really does. And the characters, I feel like Twilight in particular acts really out of character in that.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we're about to wrap this up, but
Oh, no.
like last thing I'd like to ask you, Donna.
Dana.
I knew like I said it, I'm like, no. It was like, no, and no.
There is
it
no
got out.
Dana, only Zool.
Zoom from Zoom.
What a lovely singing voice you must have, Zool. There's a whole bunch of times when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And more recently than that.
So
you are still a kid.
what advice would
definitely.
you have for prospective, no, not only artists, but people that want to make comics? What kind of advice would you give to somebody who wants to make a comic?
Don't give up. I almost gave up several times, and if I had, I wouldn't be doing a syndicated strip now, which is what I wanted to be doing 10 years ago. But sometimes it takes a while. You have to grow as an artist, and you have to get the right person's attention, and patience is important. Also, if you think you don't have enough ideas to do a comic strip, your standard for what's an idea is too high.
Huh. Really?
Just
Even
what
just the regular stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's not all gonna be gold or whatever, but you will learn from doing it. And doing a strip every day, it's like they're not all the greatest thing I've ever written. Some of them are just, I like to think that they're pretty much all, like, readable and worth your time. I'm aware that some are better than others. How could they not be? But you learn from everyone, even the ones that aren't maybe the best thing you'll ever do. You learn doing it. It's still practice. You still get better. You learn something about writing or something about the new thing. And so it's important to just start doing it. And even if it's not immediately fantastic, that's how you get fantastic.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you again so much, Dana. Hey, I
Thank
got
you
that
so
song.
much. Yay!
Thank you so much for joining
You
us.
win.
He's been well trained.
Next time when I see you in person at Everfree, I will probably be calling you Donna again. So just
Then
go
I'll
ahead
just
and
hold
quote
up.
me.
I won't even say anything. I'll just have a card ready to hold up that will have a pronunciation guide for my first name.
That may be for the best. All right. So, with our last 5 minutes, we're now going to go into cool things.
Yes. Dana, do you have one?
Well, my cool thing, I decided earlier, was going to be Ruiness, my band with my sister. Ruiness.com. We're also on YouTube. Our first song was about Nightmare Moon. We liked that one so much that we have since made songs about Fluttershy and Gilda and Spike and Front Page. We wrote a theme song for Front Page. And, she's an electronic musician. I'm a singer-songwriter, so it's a sort of... I think we sound a little like the band Garbage. Anyway, you should listen to us. We're very good. And we have a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I said that bumper music that we used, that was really great. I love that song.
Thank you. Yeah, that one is my favorite. That song is about Spike.
Yeah, you know what? Nobody ever
poor
writes songs
Spike.
about him.
Spike does not get enough love.
No.
He does not get Spike. He get no respect.
He doesn't get enough love from anyone, especially the show
We
writers.
don't get no respect at all.
Well, actually, the newest or not newest, that one episode a while ago, maybe New Leaf, huh? Maybe? For Spike.
We'll see. I always thought... I have a soft spot for Spike. Spike was my husband's gateway into the show. He was like, yeah, My Little Pony, I don't care about that. Oh my gosh, look at that adorable dragon. And now he's a huge fan and we watch it together every week.
Oh, really? That's actually kind of funny. I thought it would be like, Rainbow Dash or something.
Yeah, sometimes it's Spike.
Yeah.
In this case, it was Spike. He not so much for the ponies, but look at that adorable dragon.
Spike definitely has a special place in my heart.
The two of us have kind of a Twilight and Spike relationship.
Huh.
Take that however you want to.
So does he write for you?
Yeah, you dictate to him.
Yes, because I have hooves instead of hands, so he goes to Quills and Sofas and gets the quills for me.
Are you also Marigold?
Unicorn!
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and go into my cool thing. I actually, literally just today, it's called, Hey Ash, What You Playing? Yeah, it's basically just short, they're typically about 2 minutes long videos where a brother basically goes up to his sister and is like, hey Ash, what you playing? And she could, like, Left 4 Dead, or she's playing Noir, or Monkey Island. And again, it's just the situations they get into. They act out they act out the situations from the game quite a bit. He plays kind of the more intellectual gamer. She plays more like kind of like tits and a bit crazier. The funny thing is, they get their actual father in to do a lot of the to do skits with them as well.
You know what I kind of like about that? I like that it sort of undercuts the stereotype that gamers are boys.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
one of the ones I like the best actually has to do with Booth Babes, and now Ash's reaction to Booth Babes.
I gotta watch this. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, I love the cover image for the YouTube. Why is he dressed in a schoolgirl outfit?
They received, hey, I want you to dress as this character from Street Fighter. So they dressed the brother up as it.
That's a very Ozzy and Millie joke, if I do say so myself.
But it's a lot of fun. It is a little bit... it's PG-13, so I mean, if you get offended, very easily, maybe avoid it. Sometimes has some harsh language, but it's all in good fun. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, that's all right.
And you can go to the website, Hey Ash, it's HEYASH.com, to get it. Very simple.
Cool.
Pretty good to check it out. Well, shoot, I'm pretty running low on my cool thing, but I did read about something not that long ago that was really kind of cool. It was something they did with a mouse's brain, where they put electrodes in the mouse's brain to read whenever it did a certain task, and they trained it to perform a task, and then they took that group of neurons, the brain cells, and they destroyed them, and they made sure that that was the group that controlled, that, held the memory for that task. And so they asked the rat to do the task again, and the rat, couldn't remember how to perform the task. But then they put the electrodes back in the brain, and they repeated the kind of firing that the rat gave off in his brain when he did remember the task, and the rat was able to perform the task once again, which is really cool and paving a huge amount for more in neuroscience. Really cool stuff going on there.
That's kind of amazing.
Yeah.
I like living in the future.
Oh, me too. I'm waiting for my hoverboard to come in.
Yeah,
that actually really, really quickly into Line Monkey's cool thing.
Oh,
Yay,
yep.
Line Monkey's join the stream!
Hi, Line Monkey.
Hi, everybody. I know it hears me much because I am on the moderating on the live stream chat. So, yes, but that whole the future is now thing, that has, it's here. So there was a team that built bionic legs for prosthetic limbs. These things actually work really, really well and really amazingly. And one of the people testing them was a dancer who lost one of her legs in the Boston Marathon bombing. And she dances now.
Wow.
These prosthetic limbs are not like the normal ones. These ones are very much just like normal, and it lets people do the same things that they used to. This, of course, has special significance for me since I'm, and that would be absolutely amazing to.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I've heard a bit about this stuff before. Namely, a while ago, I heard about a prosthetic leg. It was mainly for people who had one leg, because it'd strap a sensor on that one leg, and then how that leg moved, it would cause the other leg to react the same way. But this looks like it's might be meant for people with having problems with both legs.
Yeah, and actually the way that the sensors work in the prosthetic limb itself, I'm not sure how well it would work for above the knee injuries and amputations, but anything below the knee, it reads the residual movement.
Oh yeah, that's actually, I've heard about that definitely before.
And it's really amazing.
Yeah, what it does is the neurons. Yeah, they're neurons, but there's a special name for them. They're the type that transmit. They actually usually will lead them down to certain spots, and they can put little things that can pick up and detect the electrical discharge coming from there.
Yeah, if I was studying for my anatomy final like I should be doing, I probably could tell you what that is.
I used to remember, and I should probably study that up before my psychology final.
Finals!
Woohoo!
Ah!
I graduated from college more than a decade ago, and I still have nightmares about it.
Oh,
So that's what you've got to look forward to.
I could
I was
imagine
out
you
of college
writing.
for 2 years, and then I got right back into it.
I could imagine you writing like a final or a paper for college, and it'd just be all in these short little block texts or whatever. You know?
Yeah, by the end of college, I was basically already thinking that way. I was like, oh, I have to write more than that? But it's funny now. But Line Monkey's thing is amazing, and I don't mean to pull focus back to me.
Oh,
But yeah, I'm constantly amazed about technology, medicine. Just the things we have these days are just astounding. It's amazing all the amazing things technology is allowing us to do these days. So, heck, I mean, even 10 years ago, would we have really been able to do this? Well, maybe 5 years ago, but 10 years ago, doubtful.
Yeah, the technology was in its real infancy 10 years ago. So it's
What
really-
we're gonna have in another 10 years.
Oh, definitely.
Connecting
actually,
directly brain to brain.
I'm
they
hoping
are
that-
working on that.
Yeah, I'm hoping that instead of getting old, they can just pour me into another body in about 50 years.
That'd be nice.
That would be handy.
Yeah, I don't really know a lot about biology, but I can tell you about something really, really cool in the field of physics. Superconductors.
Yeah, Mr. Physics major, smart guy.
It's
I
cool.
went to school for art.
It's so fun. Don't you love
Science!
math? Don't you love math?
No!
I dabble in math and
Math?
sciences.
Actually, it reminds me of a poster I
Yeah.
saw, and it had like had the word engineer misspelt about like 3 times, and at the bottom it just said, "I'm good at math." They just summed up this-
Nice. But yeah. All right, everyone. Well, thank you again so much for joining us, everybody. As always, you can catch us live on Sundays at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Philadelphia Radio at philadelphiaradio.net or on our live stream at livestream.com/EFNW Presents. And now to play you out, here's Day and Night by our own Dapper Jack, who sadly could not join us today. But go ahead and give you a bit of him with this outro music.
Now see here. There appears to be some hypocrisy in our current celestial dynasty, for no one knows what the two sisters see. Now what's the reason for such secrecy? Now what if the evil ones they turn as such large threats are actually in their eternal debts for the very right to be left alive? For if they wanted, no one could survive. This must mean they're deceiving us with a benevolency. Now you may say I theorize conspiracy, but they must actually be the royal cohorts. Even Nightmare Moon was a royal mild spot.
Two sisters, day and night. They are far more dark than light. Some bright discord tatterers are all clutched in their fists.
Now you may wonder, what is a fist? Why, it's an anagram meaning this. F is the fear underlying society. I is their illusion of utmost piety. S is a sort of nationwide anxiety. T is for tyrants, now that's notoriety. Now I prefer not to get overly political, but their rage is not parenthetical. They'll betray us with greedy, full-bore grins. Bless my eyes, give the gramophone a spin.
Big sisters watching you. Watch your 4 eyes from the blue. You can't escape from the sky. That's it for you and I.
Well, now then, we're all patsies to their true plan. Corruption on a global span. There's no escape from moon nor sun. There's nothing left, too late to run. They watch over with sun and moon. Their lights spell out our very